Good morning, everyone. I'm Michael Burns, Chair of the EDA, and I call this meeting of the Economic Development Authority to order. And we will now have the roll call vote, or the roll call, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. When I call your name, please unmute yourself and say aye if you're there. Thank you. Mr. Ali? Mr. Ali, unmute yourself and say aye.
I'm new to Moorhead Economic Commission, and I see some new faces and I see some old faces. I work for
All right, Anderson? I note that Mr. Anderson is not on. Michael Burns?
Yes, here.
Chad Coda? Not present. Alex Cusa? Not present. Zach Hiring? Not present. Pat Kovash?
Here.
Joel Paulson? Not present. Larry Seljevold? Not yet present. Jeff Schauman?
Present.
Thank you. Bobby Soline?
Here.
Thank you. Deb White?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Would you like to make a few?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair, and just wanted to make a couple announcements. Obviously, for those on the call, we do have a new member to the EDA, Mr. Ali. We appreciate you being on, and would maybe give you an opportunity to maybe say a few words about who you are, your background, and obviously give you a chance to speak, and welcome to the EDA. I'm not sure if you could hear me or not, but if you want to say a few words, the floor is yours if you want to say a few words to the group.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. My name is Abdullahi Ali. I'm new to this commissioner. I see some new faces and I see some old faces. I work Lexington Prairie Community Action as a refugee resettlement navigator, and I was been actively volunteering in my community. I'm looking forward to join this commission and looking forward and excited to be part of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, really appreciate it, and welcome aboard. I do have one other announcement to make, kind of a sad announcement, but just wanted to pass along. I'm sure many of you saw the news article a couple weeks back, but one of our members of the Makar Review Board, a member of the RDO family, Steve Connolly, passed away in a pretty tragic car accident. And we wanted to take this time just to pass along our condolences to his family and those friends to him as well. It's obviously a tough time for the RDO company with losing two of their executives. Steve was always gracious with his time to the Makar Review Board and a great advocate for Moorhead. So he'll be greatly missed, and just wanted to make sure publicly we addressed that and thanked him and his family, and passing along our condolences in a sad loss. So I don't know if Dan, if you have anything else to say, but we just wanted to make sure we started out with that today too.
No, other than, Steve Connolly was a great man, a great football coach locally. He's been cared about. We've heard about him every day since his passing. So, it's quite a loss for the Moorhead community, and our hearts go out to the family and all their friends.
Thank you. Moving on, are there any agenda amendments?
None at this time.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved, Deb White.
Second, Pat Kovash.
Okay. Are there any discussion items? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Or let's take we'll take a roll call. I keep forgetting.
All right, Ollie? You could also raise your hand, say aye. Thank you. Michael Burns,
Aye.
Pat Kovash,
Aye.
Jeff Schauman,
Aye.
Bobby Soline. Bobby?
Aye.
Thank you. Deb White?
Aye.
Anyone that I missed?
Zelderol is here. Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. To my knowledge, there are no citizens that are planned to address the board. So moving on, we'll move right into the commissioners' reports.
Mike, I've got a quick update for the MBA here. The Moorhead Business Association team of Sherry and Nick Lear have spent the last couple of weeks reaching out to the businesses in Moorhead to inform them of the Moorhead Cares program. They have really been out there shaking the trees, reaching out to MBA members and non-MBA members, and it sounds like we've probably got over 200 businesses that applied for that. So it's just really nice to see them out there trying to let people know what's out there for them. The NBA advocates, informs, and builds relationships between members through referrals. Networking is powerful. Since January, the MBA has grown by 48 businesses. The Moorhead Business Association are accepting nominations for 2 3-year terms to serve on our board starting 21-21. Nominations close on Friday, September 4th. And just the FYI for you guys, this in December, I will be termed out as an MBA board member too, so there'll be some fresh new faces in there. The Moorhead Alliance of Nonprofits will meet today at 4 p.m. via Zoom. Deb McGregor will be the guest speaker. Please join us for her high-energy suggestions to get through these difficult times as a nonprofit. Our diversity job fair is going virtual. The fair will be on October 12th for 2 weeks. Watch for more details on the HQ Diversity Job Fair. And Frostival, Keep Me Cold in Moorhead, 21 kicks off on January 9th at Harold's on Main. The week will be filled with activities for all ages. Please reach out to Sherry or Nick at the MBA office if your business would like to get involved. Thursday at 11 a.m. with the pre-planning meeting at the MBA office. Make sure you're wearing your masks.
Thanks, Pat. Any other reports? Okay. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing for and the approval of the resolution to authorize the issuance of revenue bonds for the Solutions Behavioral Healthcare Professionals. I'm going to turn it over to you, John.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we'll need to have a public hearing. So you'll need to open a public hearing, ask for any comments, and close. This is for a conduit bond issuance for behavioral solutions. What that means is the entity can access tax-exempt bond financing by using a provision within the Internal Revenue Code that allows them, when they're nonprofit, to rely upon the issuance by a governmental entity such as the EDA, and then essentially transfer the bond responsibilities over to behavioral solutions. The EDA does not have any financial obligations in this and is just serving as the conduit issuer for the behavioral solutions. I did ask that their attorney, James Stewart, he is on the line if you have any questions that come up during the public hearing. I have not heard any objections to the issuance. we can certainly answer any questions regarding it, but they are looking for approval from this entity.
Thanks, John. Any questions from any of the board?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
We will need to open up the public hearing. We'll need a motion and a second to open the public hearing, and then we'll have the public hearing, and then we close.
Okay. Is there a
I move
motion
to
to open the public hearing?
I move to open the public hearing. Deb White.
I'll
Second?
second. Pat Kovash.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, either raise your hand or say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, got everyone.
All right. Now where do we go from
Oh,
here?
you ask for discussion?
Oh, is there any discussion on the revenue bonds that have been presented? Is there, hearing none? I think we can move forward. Another motion appropriate?
To
I
close the
move to
public
close
hearing?
the public hearing. Deb White.
Thank
We
you,
should
Deb.
probably just,
Go
we
ahead.
should probably ask if there's any public comment, just for the record.
Okay, is there any public comment?
No, yep, and no one's on the phone, just for the record as well.
Okay, thank you. So a motion has been made, correct? I
Was
think-
that Deb?
Yeah, I think so. Deb made.
Deb and Pat?
Yeah, and Pat
I'll
seconded.
second it.
Yeah. Any further discussion? Hearing none, the public hearing is closed. Thank you. Do we need to take a roll?
Well, then we will have, somebody needs to motion to approve.
Okay. After we take the roll call, or not?
No, motion to approve, second, and then we roll call.
Oh, I see, okay. All right, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
I move to approve the resolution.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, now we'll take the roll call.
Ali,
Yep, I can see him wave.
Burns,
Aye.
Pat Kovash,
Aye.
Seljervold,
Aye.
Schauman,
Aye.
Solene,
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Next item on the agenda is a presentation by Rebecca Peterson from the West Central Initiative.
Yeah, and I'll just introduce Rebecca here. She's the Director of Development for the West Central Initiative. I do a lot of work for us in this community. As a reminder, the West Central does our administration of the Moorhead Loan Fund, also processes a lot of gap financing for projects. So with that, I'll hand it over to Rebecca for a short presentation. Thanks, Rebecca.
Great. Thank you, Derek. And thank you, Mr. Chair, EDA members and staff. First of all, I really want to thank you for your continued support and partnership. I believe you have a letter in your packet requesting support at the same level as we asked for last year. I really wanted to spend this time today, though, to update you on all of the work that we've been doing in your community and throughout our 9-county region. As we all know, we're operating in new and unusual times. I last year presented to you, I'll just hold these things up, you'll find them on our website. Our new strategic plan with the highlight of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And we find this to be even more appropriate now than when we first created our strategic framework. We also have a publication that you'll find on our website, Writing a New Story. We published this in December, and little did we know that we would be writing an extremely different story come March and April. We were just gearing up for our Changemaker Grant program when we realized we needed to switch gears. And so West Central Initiative was able to, with our own funding and then some grants that we wrote to the Otto Bremer Trust and the Blandon Foundation, identify over $1 million that we could pour back out into the region. And originally, the critical issue was childcare. These essential workers, who have always been essential workers, were providing a service to essential workers. And they not only needed financial support, but they needed supplies in order to stay open. So in April, we made over $300,000 in grants to child care providers, both center-based and home-based. We actually made 57 child care emergency grants in your community of Moorhead, totaling $68,000. We also distributed hand sanitizer and bleach to all of the child care centers in need. We either delivered or they picked it up here at West Central Initiative, and we continue to offer those supplies to those who need them. We also initiated a new grant program to respond to the needs of the pandemic, and we called this our Resiliency Fund. And in May, we made over $500,000 in Resiliency Fund grants. We made 9 Resiliency Fund grants to Moorhead, totaling $64,500. We took a pause because we know that there will be different needs going forward. We did a lot of grants to telehealth providers in your region, to some widely diverse organizations that were working on language barriers and helping people apply for unemployment assistance. And so now we're on a short pause. We'll reopen the fund, and we're doing a participatory grant-making process. One of our board members, Yoksim Gudaratni, is helping us with this, and we're including people who can identify the need even better than we can in your communities. And so we learned something at a conference last summer that is our new mantra: nothing about us without us. We know that we need to include people who have the need and not just be making those decisions on our own. So that process starts with another $200,000 rolling out in September and October. And we'll see how things are going come January of 2021. In the meantime, we're also working with DEED on the small business relief grants, and our loan officer and our other staff, Greg Wagner et al., are working on 24 DEED small business relief grants for your community. So that's kind of all I have, unless there are questions, but I also want to take this time to highlight our Live Wide Open program. There's several videos on our website about your community. And if you haven't received a postcard, this is also on our website. We are doing a Live Wide Open Summit the week of September 14th. And it was supposed to be in person. We received funding from the Bush Foundation, but we made it a virtual conference. And I think it's actually much more palatable this way. Instead of a full day of conferencing, we're just doing a noon hour guest speaker Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and really dynamic people. Gil Penalosa, who's worked on sustainable cities. We also have somebody doing cognitive development of children, Dr. Deepesh Navsaria. And we close the week with Trista Harris, who's written a book called Future Good. She's a futurist. So I'll close my comments there unless you have any questions. Deb.
Rebecca, thank you so much for coming. And really just a comment, I love the Live Wide Open campaign, and I thought it was really fitting that you're here today when we have our newest EDA member, Abdullahi Ali, who was one of, 2 people from Moorhead who were featured in the Live Wide Open campaign last year. So great program. Welcome. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, moving on, thank you. Derek, how about you update us all on the CARES Act, or you and, oh.
Councilmember White? Did you have your hand up? Was there one more comment? Yes.
Sorry.
No problem. Or maybe not?
Abdullahi, he's trying to get out. You're on mute, Abdullahi.
Okay.
I can try and unmute him. Okay.
Well, go ahead, or I will just stop. Okay, thank you for allowing me to comment something. And I'm very excited to hear what Rebecca was talking about West Central. And I'm a very fan and very supportive to that organization for what they are doing in Moorhead and across rural city of Minnesota. My question is, she mentioned about helping for people who are having limited access to language or resources, and she was maintaining that something's coming up on September and October. So I didn't get that point. So what does that mean? Is there any grant available or working with organizations, something like that? Thank you.
So I'm assuming the sound is a little fuzzy. You're asking about the grants that will be coming up in September and October. We'll be announcing those on our website, but I also think your community will be part of this if you've worked with Yoksim Gudaratni. She can walk you through what the process will be for the next grant round.
Fantastic. That will be great because our community, we have so many refugees, so many immigrants who have limited access to languages, and we need them to help. So I think that will be useful, and we will inform organizations who can work with them. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, and I hope that we have some of your community members involved in this participatory grant-making process. And since I have my mic unmuted, I forgot to mention one important thing that we're embarking on. We did, West Central Initiative did just receive a grant from the Economic Development branch to hire 2 new planners. So this EDA grant will span 2 years, and we're hiring 2 new planners so that we can even do more planning work in our communities. So look for more information on that soon.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Yes, Derek.
I'll just make one quick comment too, and I just want to thank West Central Initiative. I know Rebecca kind of downplayed it too, but Greg Wagner and team who's been reviewing all those state grants, the economic development relief grants from the state. That's a ton of work that team has done. Almost 300 applications that they processed. They've been a big help to Amy and I and others that are reviewing our own grants and kind of modeling some things after them. So appreciate Greg and the West Central team on being a nice advocate and resource as we've gone through this grant program.
Okay. Make sure.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you. All right, Derek, would you like to talk about the CARES Small Business Relief Grant?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And happy to report today is the last day of our Moorhead CARES grant application. The grant application deadline is tonight at midnight, 11:59 p.m. So if you know of businesses that still have not applied, please have them do so before the deadline tonight. We want to make sure we try to accommodate all businesses that do qualify for the grant program. In short, we have 215 or so applications as of right now. That was as of this morning. There are probably about 15 of them or so that we have denied due to disqualification pieces, whether it was taxes or just ineligible kind of qualifications that were put in place by the restrictions. But overall, we're looking at helping probably about 200 or so businesses and community organizations. We're probably expecting a push here today that will influx that a little bit higher as well. But we've had a really great team put together between Amy and Christy, other staff members that have gone through and really kept up to date with these applications. There's a lot of review, as you can imagine, a lot of detail that we got to get into, but we tried to keep this as simple as possible. What I will say is there have been some denials that have gone out, but for those that haven't seen anything yet as far as a pre-approval or an approval letter, I'll just say stay tuned. We're hoping to still continue to coordinate with the county, and maybe the end of this week or early next week, we'll be sending out approval letters to those businesses and community organizations that basically request a couple different things: a W-9 that will help us distribute the grant funds, as well as an affidavit. This is a document that kind of goes into the audit, making sure that there's a signed affidavit that in case there is an audit, that the business and the city have things protected on that front. So there'll be some additional requested information. That email will spell out a lot of the process for that. But stay tuned for either later this week or next week for those businesses, those 200 plus businesses, to receive that email. I'll just say it's exciting. It's exciting to see that many businesses apply. That's a lot of money that's going to go out to our community, and we're really excited about that. I think overall the comments have been positive to our Moorhead Cares email that was created. Certainly some questions, but overall there was a much gratitude from the business community that they're seeing some help. We are continuing to coordinate, as I mentioned, with West Central, as well as the state of Minnesota, to figure out who has received the state grants. There are a few businesses in our community that did receive that, which we're thankful for as well. But yeah, just very humbled to the staff and all the effort that's been put into it, and really glad that we're going to see this money stay in our community. So with that, I'll maybe stop and answer any questions you may have, and go from there.
Say, Derek, I just want to thank you and all the staff for all of your hard work. I know that was a lot of work to do in such a short time period, but I'm actually dealing with the person that applied there, and I mean, it's literally going to help keep a business that's going to move in Moorhead back in Moorhead. And so I'm sure a lot of this money is going to be put to really good use, and just really appreciate all the hard work by everybody and what you've done. You guys have done a fantastic job.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. And I should have mentioned this. I know Pat mentioned it earlier, but thank you to the Moorhead Business Association, as well as some other community players, on spreading the word. I think that was the big change for this, as we were out ahead of it. We marketed this. We went out to businesses. We sent a lot of social media and emails. I think it could fall on deaf ears with all the other information and resources that are out there. It gets confusing in this time. But the continual outreach that we did, I think, has really drove up our numbers from an application standpoint, and we're glad we're getting to folks. So thanks to Sherry and team for helping spread the word.
Yeah, I echo those comments too, Derek. That's impressive. Thank you. All right, Dan, would you like to take us through the preliminary budget?
I am happy to.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Burns. So before you have the 2021 budget for the Economic Development Authority. Kind of as an organization, we have 3 large goals during this challenging time. So they are to maintain essential services in this community, to take care of employees, and to work in a framework whereby the budget is balanced. And in doing this, we believe we help make Moorhead the place where people want to be, where they want to work, where they want to have fun, do all of those special things. So that said, I want to just start by saying thank you to all of you for your support in this budget process. I mean that. We feel supported by you and by the Moorhead City Council. This has been a team effort, and we are grateful. This budget, I'm not going to go through it line by line. It was shared with you last month, so I'd rather discuss any questions you may have or ideas. But I do want to say that what's being presented to you has no impact on the tax levy in Moorhead. This, frankly, is a time where Moorhead can shine because of how it's made up. We have a strong revenue source, and we have healthy reserves, and that goes to frankly a lot of the staff and smart planning that's happened in the past to get us to this point. So I just want to lift that up. We have a strong residential tax base, and I just want to say thank you for staying focused on strengthening our commercial and industrial tax base, because we have a ways to go there. And so we hope to do that within this budget. So with that, I guess I will open it up. I actually, no, before I do, just so for timeline here, this budget was before you earlier this month. Hopefully you got a chance to review it, and we can discuss it today. But going forward, upon a recommendation today, the plan is to share it with the Moorhead City Council on September 14th, whereby the budget will be shared, not asked to be voted on. The following meeting on September 28th, we'll ask the Moorhead City Council to approve the final preliminary budget for the city and for the Economic Development Authority. It's at that point at which we can always bring the levy down, but we can't go any higher than what's approved on the 28th. And then in December, the final budget will be approved. So that's kind of the steps as far as getting there. And with that, thanks for reviewing the budget, and the staff recommendation is to approve.
Thank you, Dan. Any questions from anyone? I want to give everybody a chance. Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Jeff Sherman.
Thanks, Jeff. Second?
Second, Bobby.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's take the roll.
Mr. Ali? Ali?
I saw his hand up there, Amy,
Okay.
so.
Mike Burns?
Aye.
Kovash?
Aye.
Seljervold?
Aye.
Schauman?
Aye.
Soline?
Aye.
And White?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Just a quick reminder that any of you that are really interested in keeping up with the building and permit valuation report, it's on the website. If it's not on there already, it will be very shortly. And any other items? Yes, Derek.
I'll just note too, I didn't have a economic development update this month. If you noticed that in the packet, partly just because of the amount of time that's been put into this Moorhead Cares grant. Obviously, there's been some other things going on, but that was pretty much the focal point of this past month, was making sure that program gets kicked off correctly and we're able to process these grants. So for those that may have questioned that's where the focus was this month.
I noticed it, Derek. We can cut you some slack, though.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. With that, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.